In this video, I'm going to show you how I make a quick and easy wooden floor for your cake board, which I know I've already showed you how to do this one way already, but I wanted to show you how when you are out of time, you need something fast, you've already built your cake on the board, how to add a wooden floor, something that's quick, something that's easy to your cake afterwards. Because I'm kind of lazy and don't like spending a ton of time on my board. So this is what I did for this bassinet cake, and I just wanted to show you how I did it in case you're in a pinch and you need to do something similar. Okay, so I have this impression mat that I'm using. I rolled out my fondant. I actually would use a fondant Molly chocolate mix here because it would help my board pieces when I cut them up to not come out of shape so easily, to not get, messed up. The Molly chocolate would help stiffen it up a little bit, but I didn't have that on hand. I didn't have any Molly chocolate on hand. And I had this color on hand, so I am just using straight fondant. But I'm using this impression mat. It's a wood impression mat from Aftosa, which is an online company, which I'll include in the link. But I'll include a link to it in the post below. Excuse me. But it's a pretty great impression mat, and it's nice and big, and that's why I like to use it. So I lined it up. I have rolled out a piece of fondant here that is big enough so that I can cut all my floorboards out of it to cover my board. And now I'm just using my quilting ruler to just cut quick strips. I'm making them 2 inches thick. You could, make them thinner, you can make them wider, whatever you want to do. But just cutting quick strips. And what's going to happen here is we're going to have pieces that don't need to be full length that we're going to add to the front and the back of the cake, right? So you don't have to have a full length piece for each piece that you use. So just keep that in mind when you're cutting. I'm adding shortening to my board here. This is actually MDF board that I built this cake on. And the shortening is just going to help me to help my wood panels to stick well. You could use water as well, but I just like to use shortening. It's quick and it's easy. I am using straight airbrush paint here. I'm using a chocolate brown color and a paintbrush, and I am just painting the floor. I wanted a nice dark look. You could do a wash if you want, add some vodka or Everclear to this paint and just kind of wash it over to get a different effect, but I wanted a nice dark floor, so to kind of match the crib section of my bassinet here. So I've just painted it over, and now I am just taking one piece and sliding it up against the cake on the bottom. Now, because of the design of this cake, the fabric on the cake is raised a little bit, so I could slide these underneath. But even if you had a cake that you couldn't slide underneath the fabric, like in this design, you could just butt it up against the cake that's already on your board and just kind of cut your pieces so that they fit nicely around the edge of the cake. It'd be a little bit more difficult than this, but it could still definitely work. And you can see how my pieces are coming out of shape a tiny bit, so I have to kind of push them back into shape with my ruler. That's because it's straight fondant, and fondant is stretchy, and you know that. But it doesn't ruin the effect because a floorboard is, not perfect. A floor, sorry, is not perfect to begin with. It's easy to do. So I just basically have butt up pieces up to the cake in the front, in the back, on the sides. Just fit them so that they work into the design well. It does not have to be perfect. I have one board in there that's much thinner than the others. That was my last piece that I added. I had to cut it thinner, but you can't even tell because this is a quick and easy treatment on the board. Nobody's even paying attention to that. It just worked well for me. It did not take long. The airbrush paint dries pretty well. You just, you need to let it sit for a little bit, but it will dry for you, so it won't be tacky, and it's okay if it's not perfect because it's a floor. So if you need a quick and easy fix, here's one that you could use in the future. Hope you enjoyed. Oh, and the full bassinet cake tutorial is available on cakeheads.com with the membership if you're looking for that. I'll see you later.